What's up, y'all? I'm back with another video. So this is going to be a little bit different. This is an AWOL Vision Projector, an LTV-2500. So we have these in our foyer. We have 6 of them, and they started displaying some issues with the picture quality. It's actually really interesting. So a few weeks ago, we had this image of a brick wall, almost like something out of Pink Floyd's The Wall, displayed in the foyer on 6 of these projectors. And it was like that for about a week, and then every week we'll change it to something different. The next projection, everything was fine, and then the following projection, started noticing some strange artifacts in the picture. It started getting really fuzzy. You could see dots in the image, and then it started projecting the brick wall image, which I thought was really interesting. And one of them went down and then started displaying this symptom, and then another one shortly after that did. So, doing a bit of research on these. So this is a tricolor DLP projector, and it utilizes what's known as a DMD chip to project the image, which these are quite fascinating too, which stands for digital mirror device. That they can go bad, they can get burning, and you can replace them. And so that's what I did. So the DMD is underneath this heatsink. You would remove this there's 4 screws here. So you pop this off. They do, in this particular projector, they're kind of glued into the studs there. So you just kind of need to pry it off a little bit. Doesn't take much force, so this will pop off. And then underneath that, there is another, I can pull this off to show you, but there's another assembly that you need to remove to gain access to the DMD chip. Trying to repair this one, I made a couple mistakes. And so I'm going to show you actually what you can do to troubleshoot these for any reason. There is a service port, this micro USB, which you can connect to, and you can download a GUI provided by Texas Instruments to gain access to the display controller and do some debugging, which I thought was really cool. Texas Instruments basically has a whole blueprint for designing these DLPs. So this is a DLPC 7540 from Texas Instruments. That's the display controller, which is driving the DMD, which is also from Texas Instruments. I can give you the part number for that. There's a power management IC for the DMD that is from Texas Instruments. And so there's a lot of information, application notes, programming guides, that you can utilize to kind of help debug one of these. I mean, because they're not cheap. They're, I think, like $3,000 new. So, it could help you troubleshoot if you want to try to repair one of these. So anyway, let me show you how to access the DMD, and then after that I can show you how to drive the display controller and use this software to debug it. So real quick, these are the original DMDs. So there's one for each unit. And I'm going to see if this will show up on camera, but you can actually just about see. It was coming up better earlier. Let's see if I can. Anyway, you can barely make out that square area that is showing up. It was really coming up a lot better. I'll embed a picture, but you can see the brick wall burned into the pixels. And you can see it on this one too. That's what happened. So, pretty fascinating. It's really interesting how these work. So again, DMD stands for digital mirror device. There is an array of micromirrors on this chip. I think they're made with like an aluminum film. Each one is attached to a torsional hinge with a series of electrodes underneath it. You send a high signal to it, a digital logic high. It will tilt the mirror at a specific angle, perhaps towards the projector lens outward, or it will, if it's a logic low, it will tilt the mirror another way. And that is how this thing projects images. So there's a memory cell under each of those, where you can that's addressable, and you can send programmable data from the display controller to this chip to project images. I mean, it's really cool. Unfortunately, though, it seems like they have a limited lifespan because, I don't know what is recommended of projectors, how long you should run them for, but these were basically running 24/7 for a few months, maybe? Not even 6 months, and this started happening now. Again, if there's anyone out there who's projector enthusiasts or guys who work with them, if that is typical, like this is, you're not surprised, well, let me know, and maybe we can think about putting these on a timer so that they're not going off during off hours. But anyway, yeah, because it would be pretty annoying to have to replace these chips every few months. But anyway, let me show you how you can access it, and then we can take a look at the software. Okay, so as I said, you got 4 screws here, Phillips head. We're gonna pop these off. Alright, so now you can see the DMD chip in that window there. And so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to remove these 4 screws. Now just be mindful, they're spring loaded, so it's very easy to drop them and then have them roll underneath the optic bench, so just be mindful of that. And then this is what I was talking about. So to remove that big heatsink, you can see there's a bit of glue on these, so just pry it off gently, get a screwdriver between it, flathead screwdriver, and just pry it off gently and it should be fine. So we're going to remove these screws next. Okay, so this is with the board, the DMD board removed. And so that's the DMD chip. This is just a bit of heatsink compound that I've added to it. I've already installed this one. This is the new one. This is the adapter board, and you got to be really careful with this, because basically what I ended up doing is I accidentally bent one of these pins and it shorted with another, and when this thing was powering on, it would not display any picture and it would just flash 3 red LEDs after booting up. You could hear the audio boot up, but it just wouldn't display any picture. And so be very careful handling this. And so you notice that both sides are a little bit different. So, and they match the orientation of the conductive pads on the chip itself. So line those up, line up those, you can see these little nubs here, so line up the holes on the adapter board with that. The chip itself, you can see it also lines up snugly. This rubber piece here is very important. Make sure you get that orientation properly. Otherwise, the chip isn't going to align with the adapter board properly. You're going to have some issues. But that's how you pop one of these in, and then just reassemble it backwards, and you're good to go. Alright, so this is the GUI, the software that you can download from Texas Instruments website. So if you go look up this evaluation board, so just look for that on their website, the DLPC 7540 EVM. And if you scroll down here, you can download the GUI installer. You're gonna need to make an account, and so just be aware of that, but it's free to download. And then once you download it, you can open it up. So you will connect to the instrument via this micro USB. I've only got a short one available, connected to your PC. And once the projector is powered on, you should be able to find it by selecting USB. It's going to be either I2C or USB, and then Texas Instruments projector control should pop up and you can connect to it. So this is by clicking the debug option and then connection, so you can connect. And then you have the option to run test patterns. So for example, I can change this to color bars. Set that. And I know this isn't the best, but you can see we've got everything looks good after replacing our DMD chip. And yeah, I can do solid color if I want, just by clicking set. Just don't stare at the laser, and so now you can see we've got red. So yeah, I mean, and then you do have more advanced capabilities here by clicking this advanced page, and this is actually what helped me troubleshoot what was going on when I accidentally did some slight damage to that adapter board. So by clicking advanced, it opens up this advanced mode, and you can check here to make sure you're connected properly. If you go to commands, you can go to administrative, and if we go down, I mean, you've got so much. This was very helpful. Read system status, and for me, for example, it had the DMD and initialize error checked, and so you can click get, and that'll give you any. So for some reason we have an I2C port 1 communication error, yeah, so this could give you a ton of information for debugging, and I mean, this doesn't even begin to go into all the capabilities that you have here, but this is a really helpful tool, and it's free, that can help you to debug this. But I'm going to reassemble this thing, and should be a wrap after that. Well, that is a wrap on this guy, and it's still working after assembly, so that is good. And so we can move on from this one. I hope you guys found that interesting or informative. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments, and I'll catch you at the next repair. All right.